A couple of minutes after 8 o'clock. It is 8:02 right on the dot. I'm WESH 2 first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together every day, 7 days a week, checking on just about 7 days a week, checking in on what's doing in the world of weather. Listen, this morning is stunning. A live look outside. There's Port Canaveral looking gorgeous. Let me take you over to Ocala, where the temperatures in Ocala have been hanging out a little bit lower. You woke up to readings in the 40s. It is a clear sky there. Let me take you over to the Tower Cam Network in the tourist district, see how you're doing this morning. Oh, it has been just a beautiful start to the day. Disney Springs, you are looking fantastic. We'll do one more to Varies just because. Haven't seen you in a minute. Oh, yeah, just about how I would expect things to be. Just gorgeous out there. So, temperatures this morning looking fantastic. Here's a look at the readings around town: 60 in Orlando, it's 51 in Leesburg, 49 outside in Wildwood, and 53 in Ocala. So, we are looking great. We are feeling great. Happy to report a nice clean sweep on our first warning live radar. Remember, I've got this in the kind of longer pulse width mode, so it's going to pick up on more things. That's not but bugs and birds. I'll just show you. You can kind of tell that's not actual rainfall. So sometimes that's the way that goes in this mode, and that's totally fine. You just know about it and you move on. So the forecast then for today starts perfect. I mean, so nice. Will push to 76 degrees by noon, 77 degrees. That's going to be our high temperature on the day today. Today is going to be a gorgeous day. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. Temperatures for today climbing into the 76, 77 degree range, depending on where you are. 77 in Orlando, 78 in Claremont, 76 in DeLand, 75 outside in Daytona Beach, and 78 degrees in Melbourne. Now, notice the winds running northeast, 10, 15, gusting to 25. So it's going to be breezy. And we'll also notice from time to time a few of these clouds coming in, and they'll come in off of the ocean. So can't rule out a mention of a shower. It's not going to be a huge concern, but there's going to be that mention of a shower. So just keep that in mind if you've got plans today. It may not be the most kind of quiet day. There may be a few of these little showers, but you'll notice that for today, there's not much. As a matter of fact, our opportunity for rainfall today is basically the Orlando area off to the east. So we can handle that just fine. 7 day forecast. Let's get a lay of the land here, and then we can move on. And I want you to notice the temperatures are going up and going up. Yeah, we're kind of hanging out in this warm register. Now, if you're a Coffee Talk watcher for a while, you know that around Thanksgiving we had discussed that temperatures were going to be warm for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. We had talked about it then. We had looked to the long range forecast and we had discussed this. So this should be of no surprise to you. Today's forecast, not that different than Christmas. Christmas takes us from a comfortably cool 58 to 75 by noon, and about 78, 79 degrees will be our high temperature for Christmas Day. Here's the Christmas high temperature forecast around Central Florida: 79 in Orlando, 78 in Leesburg, about 75 in New Smyrna Beach. So we're going to look good, we're going to feel good. Really and truly, it's going to be a nice forecast. Now, that said, there's a lot of travel. Okay, so I want to make sure that you know, first off, for today, we're looking beautiful. Here's a look at the kind of forecast map for today. Some snow showers coming through Michigan, a couple of showers up into the Pacific Northwest. Not a huge weather day. For tomorrow, things are going to get a little more active. I want you to look into the northeastern United States. A front, kind of a storm system pulling in some snow, could actually get a decent snow. And if this plays out the way it looks, it may not be snowing on Christmas morning, but much of the northeastern United States may have snow on the ground for Christmas. That would be super cool. High temperature tomorrow in New York City, 41. Meanwhile, in Houston, it's 80 degrees. So a bit of a difference there. Then for Wednesday, starting to see some rain moving into the desert Southwest, including Las Vegas. Los Angeles could see some heavy rainfall. Very La Nina pattern. That also, though, means that travel out in those areas may be, we'll say, hampered. And then for Christmas Day itself, looking very active. Looks like a storm system coming into the Pacific Northwest. It's looking like showers for California, some snow into Seattle, a little bit of rain here or there from West Virginia through to Kentucky, and maybe a little bit of light snow through like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, the Canadian Maritimes, up through New England. But here in our area, we're not looking at any of that. As a matter of fact, it may be the first week of winter, but we're not feeling like that at all. We're going to continue to warm. So our Christmas temperature in Orlando, our high will be 79. It's going to be warm. It's not going to be among the warmest on record for Christmas, though. Last year we hit 85 for Christmas. So we'll be warm. We're just not going to be to records. That said, I was showing this morning on WESH 2 News Sunrise the American GFS model and the European model, and we were specifically looking at when that next cold front would move in. Just got brand new model data in, and I'm happy to say that the models are starting to agree. And if you watch me for a while, you know when we talk about computer models, consistency breeds confidence. And thus, looking at the computer models, take a gander at this. The GFS's new numbers dialed down, got cooler. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a thing, but since I made my little reel this morning, and the GFS's update came down. So notice next Monday into next Tuesday, both the American GFS and the European models are showing a drop in temperatures, with the temperatures now looking like 50s and 60s for New Year's Eve, and morning low temperatures for New Year's Eve in the 30s and 40s. So there may be a little bit of an adjustment from our Christmas forecast to our New Year's forecast. Still very early, but I do want to make sure to at least discuss this with you, okay? And I also want to outline this is one run of one model. We're discussing the changes from run to run, but I still want to make that mention because full transparency when it comes to this, right? So it's still early to dial in. I want to show you, though, the American GFS basically saying, and we'll look at the GFS and the European. The American GFS keeping us warm right up to that next front. And then notice after that front, the temperatures start to climb. As far as the European goes, kind of the same thing. A little bit of a drop around New Year's and then starting to come back up. So again, not a ton of fronts, but we'll take every little bit that we can. By the way, just for the sake of discussion, we're 3 days away from Christmas, 11 days away from New Year's, and 42 days away from that weather holiday, Groundhog Day, which is always fun, the weather holiday. Now, I also want to point out, looking at those computer models, we're really not looking at a significant rain event for a while. Some coastal showers for today. Here's tomorrow looking good. Here's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looking good. Really not much doing. It's not until we get into next week that the models are starting to show that opportunity. Here's next Monday. And remember, we had discussed that next cold front moving through and those shifting temperatures. Well, the European model is going to go a little more bonkers in there for showers. It's not going crazy, but it is showing widespread showers early next week. And that does make sense because that ties into that next front. The GFS is just starting to initialize it. So we'll have to see if the GFS wants to throw showers in. You can kind of see it's bringing clouds, but the European is definitely more in on the showers. And then, of course, as that clears, it just does its thing. So, again, we're just trying to dial this in. We're not quite there yet, but we're just trying to get there. Taylor's asking if I'm actually going to watch Groundhog Day this year. Oh, the movie? Probably not. We got to keep this. I've got a reputation to keep. So I don't know. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're watching some cold fronts. They're trying to move our direction. I've hog napped the groundhog, Tanya says. Huh? So that's where we're at. That's our next cold front. In the meantime, I got to point out, we're looking, this is beyond the 7-day forecast, looking at 8 days, much of the lower 48 through the end of the year and into the beginning of next year, looking warm. Look at that, warmer than average temperatures across much of the lower 48. And when it comes to rainfall, the eastern seaboard looks drier. The rest of the country looks a bit more active, and that kind of makes sense, right? It's kind of the pattern that we were looking at just a couple of minutes ago. So it does make sense. So yeah, that's where we're at. All right. You could watch Groundhog Day while visiting the ENT. Well, could. There's a lot of things we could do. Doesn't mean we're going to. A lot of things we could do, though. Oh boy. What are you gonna do? Questions, comments, concerns? How we doing? I know I just ran through it all pretty quickly. There's plenty of stuff that we can watch. There's plenty of stuff that we can track. And before you ask, I'm going to spend some time today discussing long range forecasting stuff. Not on Coffee Talk, but afterward. I'm going to spend some time today to look at that because I'm trying to look and really trying to dial down the long range forecast stuff. So we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Matt's asking, any fun on the BSR? Well, we can look. Taylor says, you've had a break from me. Do you want to hear my questions, comments, or concerns today? Probably not. If I'm honest, probably not. Terry, I'm glad to be back. Thank you. And good morning to you. So we're looking great. We're feeling great. Listen, Christmas shouldn't be white in Florida. So if we're not going to do a white Christmas, might as well do a nice and warm Christmas. What's the suit lining this morning, Debbie? How did this become a thing? Today it's Van Gogh. It's like a Van Gogh type thing. I think it's called Van Ghosted because I think that there's ghosts in there. I don't know. That's what we're looking at today. 4-week-old Morgan says 4-week-old and 2-year-old this Christmas. Such an exciting Christmas. Yeesh. There was discussion. My brother was talking about this. How do you guys do this? For him, Santa brings the stocking stuffers. Mom and Dad bring the presents.
Oh my gosh, I have thoughts on this, Eric.
You have thoughts? All right, so I'm gonna have to bring you in at some point. And when discussing it, it was because that my brother said he wants credit for the big presents. Is that what your thoughts are? Well, we'll bring you. We're gonna have to bring Sonic in because she has thoughts. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I think it's interesting. I'd never really given it that much thought. So I'm gonna have to. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Let me see. Let me load up my next TV hit here. What camera do I want to show? What are your thoughts? Lauren on YouTube says, I was watching you on Wesh this morning. I was wondering what your suit lining was. So funny. Were you really? Like that's where your head goes? My brother Frank says that sounds like Jay. It's definitely Jason, right? Like that's definitely a kid brother. Santa got credit for all but one gift, Debbie says. Okay. Taylor says, yep, Santa brings little stuff. I get credit for the big stuff. Terry says, never took any credit until around 10 years old. Okay. Dawn says Santa brought one big present. Cindy says Santa always brought one big present, stocking stuffers. Mom and Dad got credit for all the rest of the gifts. How interesting. How interesting. Send Bruce over, deliver the kid. Yeah, right. Unwrapped gifts and stocking gifts were from Santa. Okay. Tim says Santa brings the unwrapped. Oh, unwrapped gifts. Interesting. Interesting. Tanya says, open it up, Eric. Let's see it. What are we talking about? What? Morgan says, gifts unwrapped are from Santa, wrapped are from Mom and Dad. Huh. So you don't. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Okay. All right, let me just put this next one together. Okay, very good. Like the wise men, Tim says. Yes, unwrapped is from Santa. I've never done unwrapped for the kids before. Christina Berry on YouTube says it was about half and half. Taylor says, I do special Santa paper for Santa gifts. Huh, that makes sense. Cole says cold. No, they don't. I need to do that. Talk me out of that. Ugh, I shouldn't do that, but I want to do that. Where are we at? 8 o'clock. I need to see where the rundown is. All right, we got Artemis and then a 3-shot. Okay. All right, we need to visit this back, but I have to go do weather. So come with me.
NASA's planning a return to the moon with Artemis 2 launch coming up next year. The 4 astronauts who were part of this mission did a full dress rehearsal out at Kennedy Space Center over the weekend. This rehearsal involved a countdown demonstration, a walkthrough of the launch day timeline, and all these crew members suiting up there in those spacesuits and then climbing into the Orion spacecraft. Keep in mind, this launch could happen as early as February.
Very exciting. And that'll be here before we know it.
Yeah.
February is going to be a busy time. We've got the Olympics happening then too,
Yep.
Winter
And
Olympics.
the Super
Super
Bowl on
Bowl.
West 2
happening on West
and the NBA All-Star Game.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah, it's a packed month for sure. But okay, so we're officially in the winter season.
Yeah.
As of what, yesterday?
Uh-huh.
And
Can
we
you
are-
tell?
Oh, totally.
Not
Walk
in
outside,
Central
we're
Florida.
warming up. What's
6,
going on here?
7. It's like,
Oh
yeah,
my god.
I did it. That's what we would rate the winter so far.
Sorry, parents.
I know. Well, as a parent, that's literally all I hear. But listen, yeah. What was your question? I'm sorry.
We're warming up this
We
winter
are
season.
we are warming up. Yeah. So we've got, I was so stuck on that. So here's the blue sky. Yeah, we've got an onshore wind, which means that we may see a shower or two pop on in, but basically we're going to keep this warming trend going for a couple more days. So it's a lovely, lovely start. 66 in Melbourne, 61 in Orlando, 55 degrees in Ocala. It's a beautiful start. The radar is in super sensitive mode. So what you're seeing here is not rain. That, however, is rain. So there's a couple teeny tiny sprinkles showing up on the live radar. And as that comes in, this interference will fade and we'll actually be able to track these showers moving on in. So through the day today, I want you to notice we're adding in a few additional clouds, particularly this afternoon. That's when we'll see a few of those showers. Temperatures climbing mid-70s to eventually the upper 70s. 77 degrees in, say, Orlando, 75 degrees Daytona Beach, 78 in Melbourne. Nice breeze, 10, 15 miles an hour, gusting 20, 25 miles an hour. And Futurecast basically showing that onshore breeze. So we're grabbing some of that moisture, bringing it on in. That said, looking ahead to Christmas, we dial up the heat just a little bit. So yeah, Sonica, we're getting warmer. 79 is going to be our high temperature on Christmas Day. Warmest is 86. That was back in 2015. We're not going to be there. Coldest, by the way, was in 1983. We made it down to 21. Also not going to do that. So we're sitting just right. Now, looking ahead to the wider perspective, because travel, of course, is a big thing, do want to point out pretty decent little snowstorm moving through the northeastern United States. And while it probably won't be snowing on Christmas morning in the Northeast, we may still have some snow on the ground there. Further to the south, it's gorgeous for our Christmas Eve. Actually, a pretty quiet pattern. That storm system pulls away from the Northeast. We do have a little bit of rain moving into Southern California, San Diego, Los Angeles, back over to the desert Southwest and Vegas. And then for Christmas Day, looks like a pretty active day out over the West Coast, but for here in Central Florida, we're just sitting pretty. It's gorgeous, gorgeous weather. High temperatures in the upper range of the 70s all the way through Christmas. Best opportunity for a couple of showers is going to be today across our coastal communities. Megan, good morning.
Good morning. You're getting another check of this deadly crash. It is in
All right. We're going to need to bring over Sonica to ask her about those questions. I did one different wrapping paper for each kid and special wrap from see Debbie, you moms, always doing it. Meanwhile, Nicole says, I'm wrapping myself in a blanket. Yeah, I get that. So funny. Oh man. Let's see here. This is a long weather cut-in. It's not a cut. That was big weather on CW18. That wasn't a cut-in. Instead of name tags, I use magic marker and put the individual names on Christmas gifts for my friends. Let's see. R. Bryant on YouTube says we like to give the majority of gifts from Santa and then a few big ones from parents. That's why mom and dad aren't seen as gift dispensing machine. No, you're not. See, there's such a perspective there, you know? Holly says on Facebook, I was born on Christmas. Stocking stuffers. was born on Christmas. Stocking and unwrapping from Santa. Others were for family. After dinner was birthday. Yeah. That makes sense. I like that. Julie loved seeing behind the scenes. Very cool. Listen, we do this every day. If I'm at work, I'm doing the work. If I'm not at work, I'm just sipping coffee. But if you get me on, Monday through Friday, here we are. We're gonna be doing the work thing. I'll put up the 7-day forecast while we're still chatting. Gail, good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. So Sonica, can I come visit you? All right. So you said that you had some thoughts. It seems like the consensus.
Generate the AI summary.
Yeah.
Because
So
we're establishing all this year. This is like the first year that
they're not going to
really
remember
understands.
anyway.
He does.
So
No.
I'd say half of the people
Grace
say,
doesn't remember stuff from when she was 6.
But I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
but I don't want him.
I'm not
next
going to
year
have
be
time to
like,
explain it
No,
because they're
no.
just going to be sitting
Sorry, go
talking
ahead,
the whole
go ahead,
time.
go ahead.
No, oh, hi. Hi.
Go ahead.
So half of the folks say that it's going to be stocking stuffers from Santa that they want. The other half don't want to be viewed as gift-giving machines. So they're wanting some from them, some from Santa.
Yeah.
Very interesting perspectives.
As the kids got older in our household, Santa delivered fewer gifts and
Sure.
the parents did more.
And there's a
So-
Nyquist where it just shifts completely. and
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
because because you don't want it to be
Yeah, yeah.
like, wait,
Yeah.
this is going to be the end of things.
Yeah.
I'm saying something that we all know what I'm talking about, but I'm not. Yeah,
my demographic is
I understand that, but it's
females like 40 to 85.
On, no, I know
so
it's on the web though.
Yeah.
Like your kids one day are going to watch your
Oh,
coffee talk.
I don't think my kids are going to ever watch Coffee Talk. I don't think.
So here's what we did.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Bear asked the Santa that came to Wesh this year
Yeah.
for a purple truck. Now he's like,
He's
day
set.
in and day out, he's like, I want a purple truck. I want a purple
Yeah.
truck.
Did you-
Santa is bringing him a rinky-dink dump truck that's
Perfect.
purple.
Perfect.
Mom and Dad are surprising him in the driveway with a big purple like ride-on.
Oh.
Yeah, see,
So
Mom and Dad are trying
Santa
to.
will be
So
there,
good.
but like Mom and Dad are getting the credit. for
So
this, okay?
But see, that's the thing that's the worst is when your kids go, like this convinced them
Yeah.
of the reality because
Uh-huh.
they're like, Mom and Dad would never get this.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh.
So that
that's a
reminded
lie.
me. So my mom, the year I got my driver's license, my mom got me a pair of sunglasses. And I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. And she's like, oh, no, you're going to need that for this. And then she gave me the keys to the car. It was a 10-year-old car. She didn't go fancy. It was, Okay, see, they have to.
Well, I guess I get to think about it.
You get to think about it. It's a very interesting perspective because I'm not a very smart person, so there's that. But the perspective that these parents, and some of them have been parents far longer, right? So I think it's a really interesting perspective on like, I don't want to be viewed as a gift giving machine. I would have never thought of that.
That is smart.
My
Yeah,
kids also
but
think I'm loaded.
my parents did. Well, you are. Just kidding. He's like, my parents did a couple gifts from Santa. They
Mhm.
were always wrapped, but they were relatively large.
Yeah.
Like big ticket
Right, and
items.
then
And then stockings, of course. With my kids, I don't have kids.
Right.
Nor am I
But,
pregnant.
but you're thinking, but you
if I
can always
do,
plan and think.
I don't know. I'm pretty religious, so I don't know if I'll even do Santa, which is like controversial.
That's okay.
Controversial.
Hey.
I will do gifts. I do really believe in Christmas. But I don't know if I like the whole commercialization of Santa.
Hey, you know what's
It's just
cool?
me.
You get to do you. And
Yeah.
nobody gets to judge.
So I guess we all have different takes. That's the thing. It's like everyone do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like your kids are at such a fun age. Obviously, Sonica's kids are like
They're such
potatoes.
yeah. Hers are a
I
sack
know.
of potatoes.
One of them is like almost 2,
Yeah.
if not 2.
I-
But that's still very young. Yours are like what?
5 and
6?
7.
That's like the perfect Santa age.
It is. If I could get them to stop fighting each other long enough.
I'm like, how do you read these comments? I have like no vision.
So Cindy says Santa always has different paper and horrible handwriting.
Yes, that's how
I do
it
the
was
same
always
thing.
very distinct.
I do.
Paper.
So I'm left-handed. I use my right hand
See, that's smart.
to do Santa. That way you can't. It's
Now,
not my
do they make
handwriting.
cookies and put them out the night before? Because we did that.
We've never, but Eric started asking.
You guys should do it this year.
We're going to.
And then we did, instead of milk, we did eggnog. I don't know why. I think because my dad liked eggnog.
I
He was
feel
Santa.
like eggnog is
obviously.
disgusting.
Me too. I don't really hear people talk about that as much anymore.
I saw Coquito supplies out at the Walmart yesterday. You know Coquito.
No. Oh, is that like the drink?
Yes.
I think I saw Jesse Pagan making that. Funny enough
Yeah.
that you say that.
Yeah. No, that makes
on
sense.
his Instagram.
Taylor says it gets worse until they're older. My 3 are constantly at each other's throats. Dude, this is awful. Like, I don't want to be a part of. But you know what was awful is like I used to fight all the time, my brother, and I still play a little grab tush sometimes with him. So I guess it is what it is. Almond eggnog with a shot of rum chata, says Victoria. Mine are adults and it's still from Santa Fe. That's true, Linda. I like that. Roxanne says Coquito 100%. Am I taking it to break or tossing back? Tossing back, Roger. All right, stand by.
About the Stanley Craft over on Fresh.com. Brady Road is the detour there for that morning drive. The 417 also heading back upstairs down to Long Lake Jessup, traveling into Sanford with an early vehicle fire. So back up there this morning, but they're cutting out the door. Pretty toasty for our Monday.
It is, and it's going to be a beautifully warm afternoon. Look how pretty downtown Orlando is. Man, oh man, it's gorgeous. High temperatures in the upper range of the 70s area-wide. We're going to keep that trend going all the way through the week. A couple of coastal showers in the forecast for today. Otherwise, we're dry through next week.
Another long-time business is shutting its doors in downtown.
All right. In Chile, Juan says, we have cola de mono. Oh, as a typical drink. I'm going to have to Google that. No, you don't. You don't have to continue. You can, well, that, yes.
That sounds fun though. See,
It's not fun.
You're so creative though.
Yeah, but
By nature.
Look, I'm towards downtown Orlando this morning. You know, it's going to be a busy week for travelers, but at least at this hour, it's pretty clear. Thanks for joining us this morning.
I'm Jason Guy. Joining us is First Meteorologist Eric Burris. Eric, it's been the first full day of winter, but not feeling like it at all.
listen, we're going to be just kind of stuck in this pattern for the next couple of days. Temperatures, though, very comfortable. A nice cool start and then a comfortable finish. That's Central Florida at its finest, right? 76 by noon. 77 degrees our daytime high. You showed this picture. It is beautiful, right? A nearly clear sky over top. First morning live radar scanning, and now finding just a couple teeny tiny showers off the shoreline. And while these should fade as they approach, it lets you know that there's going to be a little bit of light rain to track. So keep that in mind if you live along the beaches today. 50s and 60s around town. We're headed into the 70s to about 80 degrees. And those showers are going to come in on a nice brisk breeze, 10-15 gusting, 20 to 25 miles an hour. We'll talk more about your Christmas week and beyond. Computer models adjusting temperatures for next week. We'll discuss in just a couple of minutes. Now let's get right over to Megan Mackey. Check in on our first warning traffic.
Yeah, this is over here, Eric. We have a crash in Leesburg. I know 473. This
All right.
is clear since 6 o'clock this morning. So if you have hours now, it's right up there.
We're back.
That person was killed in this crash.
Oh, did the signal drop out? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know why the signal drops out. I'm sorry. It is what it is. He always buffers when he gets to that one spot. You know what's funny, Victoria, is that, believe it or not, I'm feeding from a computer in the rack room. So if the feed is buffering, that's the internet at WESH. If just my camera is buffering, then it's my laptop. Believe it or not, I'm actually running So anyway, it is what it is, but we're good now. So anyway, did you have any other questions, comments, concerns? Anything? Are we good? I think it's this discussion that we've had is fascinating. I love the discussion. It's
You
always
got
fun.
so many comments. I was looking at the.
It's great. Here, I'm going to bring
Yeah,
Megan
no,
over.
it's good. And I was like, like my opinion's different. But I think that's what the beauty in it is. Like we all have different
Yeah.
traditions and like.
There's nothing wrong with a different opinion.
No.
Right? Like you're going to do you.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's also what makes you so wonderful. And I'm not just saying this. You are true to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Period. And,
I
and
know.
that is beautiful.
But I was thinking like, so you talk about Santa.
Yeah.
And like my parents made it so magical for me, like, which is why Christmas has always been one of my
Sure.
favorite holidays. Like they truly did. obviously I have years to think about this, but then it's like, how do you move forward with like the Easter Bunny, right? So if you're gonna say that Santa's not real, obviously I don't believe in the Easter Bunny either, but like the Tooth Fairy and like
Right.
there's so like it's like if you are gonna do this with one thing and then not the other, like how do you draw the line? Or where do you draw the line? Or do you just like the Tooth Fairy is real, the Santa's not? You know what I mean? Like,
This is
or also, you know, you don't want your kids to ruin it for other kids either, because I feel like that's probably more common nowadays.
I
like,
would
not just-
imagine
especially with, like,
so.
social media.
I
Like,
would.
you know, your kids. It's like your wife's a teacher. Like, I'm sure there's kids in her. She teaches young kids, but I'm sure there's kids in her class. They're just like, Santa's not
well,
real.
even just watching certain movies where it's like, do you believe? And it's just like having these
And I would
discussions.
hate my kid to be like heartbroken, like cry at school because someone like constant. Megan is the constant
Coffee
coffee
talk
talk.
drive-through guest. Yeah.
Yeah, because I sit next to him. He's permanent now. Permanent.
You're stuck with me. I'm
You're
like
stuck
I'm
with
like an
me.
itch that you
But
just
I'm gonna
can't.
be off for like 2 weeks, so I am like in slow turn off mode.
I get it.
Of my brain.
Until February, we just need to. Does anybody want to do weekend weather? Like we have to find somebody.
Not me.
Stay.
I think he asked me when I first got here, like, would you be interested in weather? I was like, no. It's also this very distinct niche.
Yeah.
You can call Kellyanne. She can do the weekend weather.
Kellyanne and I talk daily. I would love to have
too.
Kellyanne do to rejoin this team. So yes, absolutely.
Maybe we'll get someone new in the new year. Drive through traffic anchor. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
a good